NTE Sports 24, where sports thrive.
This is C-Sports 3 on the network service of NTA, Africa's largest television network. Warm welcome to our conversation segment, and I have with me UEFA certified and FIFA licensed coach, Nigeria-born, Lawrence Okonji. Coach, you are welcome to the Sports 3.
You're welcome, sir.
The main thing or the main focus debates in the football circle as at the moment is the qualification of Super Eagles for the 2026 World Cup. How did we get here? A country so blessed, 2 African Footballer of the Year in that same squad, and still we are still struggling.
Yeah, what I will say, this is what I've been saying for a very long time. It is foundational. What we are saying now. We can't say we want to get it right, and when we don't put things right, I will just tell you where the problem lays is just the grassroots football. Grassroots football is the cornerstone of any nation football. That is where every football player have to pass through. So we are having a very big problem in our grassroots football. Grassroots football, if we neglect it, the way we are neglecting it, that's the result of what we are seeing. You can imagine in the 90s, because of the structure of our grassroots football, that was why we were able to have players like the Olise, the Okocha, the Kano Wankwo, the Odegbami, the Paul Milton, even Lawrence Okonji, my own dad. These are the things, So, and we are neglecting that side of football. When we neglect it, that is the result we see today. You can imagine South Africa. How many players are they bringing from outside South Africa? Because they have a solid and strong and well-structured football, which is the grassroots. They didn't neglect that aspect. You can take a look some African countries. How their grassroots football. They take it serious. That's why you find when we go to play with such nation, they don't have foreign players. You see, we find it very difficult to play against such countries. Why you find that? Because they have a solid grassroots football.
Okay, so what is that solid grassroots football foundation that we are talking about? What is that program that we are talking about? Is it applicable in Nigeria? And why are we not doing it?
The grassroots football is the beginning process for a football player, like from the age of 7, and when I talk about grassroots football, I talk about the coaching, I talk about the pitch, I talk about the equipment. There's a lot of elements into the grassroots football. That is why we have to pay attention to the grassroots football. Without the grassroots football, there is no elite football. No grassroots football, no elite football. So that is why we have to pay more attention in terms of infrastructure, in terms of getting the players at the early stage. Like from the age of 7. For the pathway, we have to create that pathway. And like I mentioned, like the coaching aspect, the coaches, they need to educate them. We need to educate the coaches.
Okay, like you mentioned, 7-year-old
from 7 years,
boy or a girl.
Both.
Okay, they go into school, or how does it work? Football school?
Not school. Every community have to be involved in the grassroots football. You don't have to go far. Within your local environment, there should be a football club. Government have to, let me say, the body, people in charge of our football, they have to put this in place. Every community, there should be a football, like the way, sport. Every child have right to sport. So it's the same thing in football. Every child have, sport is the same thing like education.
Of course.
Every child have right to education. Every child have right to sport.
So when they start at age 7, keep training them.
They start training. They follow the process. There's a curriculum for them. That is why the national body, which is in charge of the football, they create a curriculum for them. At the age of 7, they know what they are doing. Before they get to the age of 10, they've gotten not all, but they've gotten some basics from football, from the technique to the tactical. The tactical comes after.
So by the time they are 14 years old, they are well groomed.
From 14, you are ready for it.
So they cannot go for probably under 15,
15,
under 16,
under 16,
under 17
under
World
17,
Cup and Nations Cup and
about,
things like that.
Yeah.
And you think with that, Nigeria is going to get the
Of
best
course,
of results?
we will get the best
Okay,
of
let
results.
me take you back a little bit. The problem in Nigerian football, some people attributed it to the coaches. Some coaches solely rely on foreign-based players. They don't even look at the local league. They don't pick anybody from Nigerian Premier League to even feature. Some coaches have even tried it. They actually didn't get the actual result. Even with the foreign base, we are still struggling to qualify for the World Cup. Is it the matter of coaches or foreign-based player, or what is it?
No, it has nothing to do with the coaches. You can bring world-class coach to Nigeria. That same coach will face the same problem. For a coach, of course, a coach will like to work with the home base. Not that a coach doesn't like to work with the home base. It is what you have on ground that determine a coach, what kind of player you want to work with. Like when the coaches, they work with the foreign players, there's this what we call player data management, which they have there. They work with all this. Like in Nigeria, I don't know how the database of our players is. That is another issue. For me, the coaches are not the problem. I can tell you.
Well, that reminds me, our home base player, they went for Chan, and they were disgraced.
I know.
Even Sudan, beating us 4-0.
What did I tell you before? I always tell people ask me grassroots. Maybe one time I will revisit here. I have a note which I'm putting a book about the grassroots. It falls to the grassroots. Sudan, probably they are doing well with their grassroots football. When I didn't watch the match. I saw the result online. It was like a dream for me. I called someone, please, is this real? He said, yeah. So it shows, because one time I've watched our league. I saw the kind of...
Okay. But is it true that Nigeria is actually blessed with talent when we are talking about football stars?
Of course, there are talents, football.
So what is our issue?
Football is a pride for us. It's national pride. Every Nigerian wants to play for the Super Eagles. So it is high time we start putting the football business in order. Football is business. We don't have to neglect that business part of it. So that is why all stakeholders who are involved in this football, they should really step up into the football. Because for me, we should not be worried about qualifying to work. If we qualify, I'm okay. But the qualification, let's forget about qualification. You can, if we do what is right, we will not be expecting one team to lose for we to qualify. We should be looking how the Super Eagles get their maximum winning. If they have 8 games to play, how will they win 7 and draw 1? That's what we'll be talking. We should not be talking, then they have to lose, this one have to lose. No, that is a
some people went even that we need to pray. That once we pray,
why do you pray?
When we
say God is not a biased God. Why are we like that? People who are prepared, then you want God to give it to us and leave those ones.
Some football fans actually believe that God is actually Nigerian.
No, God is
when we are
everywhere.
Talking about football.
No, leave it. You have to work. God loves people that works hard. You mentioned something about we bring foreign based play. Look, it seems for me the Nigerian national team is not attractive anymore. If the Nigerian national team is attractive, we have numbers. I told you before we started, I was discussing with my instructor in the UEFA, like he was asking me what is going on with Nigeria. I told him, the golden generation it shocked me. He said, he said, Nigeria, the current players from Nigeria, they can do wonders in the world. You can imagine, he mentioned Saka. He mentioned that Okonji grew up in the country where I live, which is Switzerland. I knew when he was playing for the under-12 in Winterthur before he went to Basel and all that. Okonji, Musiala, Olise. You can imagine Noni Madueke.
Bringing all them together in a team.
We have them. So we have to check, why is our national team not attractive?
Is our Premier League, is it also attractive?
it's not attractive.
Okay, but we have people like you that UEFA certified and FIFA licensed.
Yeah.
Not only you, we have a lot of them.
Yeah.
So what are you guys doing actually to help the situation?
Actually, I've started something. Actually, I because I love football so much. I'm one of the big. I'm a big fan of Nigerian football team. So for me, I thought to myself, I said, no, I can't stay where I am, be complaining. I just have to start something. So I've started a grassroots initiative, which is called Play More Football. This is a grassroots initiative from Switzerland Football Federation, Play More Football. And this Play More Football initiative won UEFA award. It's more about inclusive football for kids. And with this kind of football concept, kids, if they played for a space of 4 years, they will really understand the concept of football. That is why I have to bring it to Nigeria. Now I have an academy called Play More Football Academy because I love the concept. When the concept started, I paid so much attention because it was a pure grassroots.
So how does this now help Nigeria to actually grow its football? How many kids have access to this Play More Football initiative?
Yeah. For now, I'll try my best. We are moving from places, like I said, grassroots. You need the pitch, you need the coaches, you need the players, you need like what I said. What we are facing is infrastructure problem, like having pitch. But we are working, to find a way how we work outside this challenge, like start working with schools, because I know most schools, they have a playground, playground, because the Play More Football is small-sided game. It's a small-sided game, minimum coaching interference. You leave kids, they manage the game themselves, so because I did a study with this small-sided game with my team. In fact, most of the boys that passed through me, they are playing for the Swiss under 14 national team. Many of them, they wrote me, coach. Last time they invited him for the national team under 14. So the concept I saw, it was a concept which I understood it, and I see how it will help Nigeria, because I know we're having problem in terms of coaching.
Right.
So
what if you are somebody like you is offer Super Eagles job? What would be your reaction to that?
It's too early now. It's too early to give you an answer.
But we have people like Finidi George, we have Gavon, we have Samson Siacha, we have Olise, we have all those are ex-internationals. Whenever it seems they are not looking their side. Amunike is there.
They can do the job. I tell you, they can do the job, but I don't know what is the internal issue that makes them to fall out from being the Super Eagles.
And even these foreign coaches, I don't think they are even giving us the results we required. When we won Nations Cup in 2013, it was Stephen Keshi. When we won the Nations Cup in 1980, that was Otto Gloria, if I'm not wrong. He's a foreign man. Then Westernhoff also did it for us in 1994. Yeah. But even at that, Westernhoff was a Nigerian because he practically lived in Nigeria.
If I will remember, Westernhoff, what really helped him was Westernhoff, there was no interference when Westernhoff was handling the national team, because I vividly remember my father because he was into football. The problem about football in Nigeria is conflict of interest. Once we can overcome conflict of interest, I think Nigeria will get there.
All right, for your parting words on this program today, so what advice or what do you want to tell sports-loving, football-loving Nigerians generally? What do you want to tell the administrators? What do you want to tell the coaches, the players to move Nigerian football forward?
Look, I will not deviate. This is what I will always tell you. In where I come from, or like in Germany, in Switzerland, there's a word they say.
International community.
The international community. They said a word. They said, ohne breite Fußball, keine Spitze football. That means no grassroots football, no elite football. It is as simple as that. Every big players you see today, they pass through the grassroots. We have to pay attention to the grassroots. That is how, a grassroots football will start that program in 8 years. We'll get what we want. We don't need to be in a hurry.
Thank you very much,
You're
Coach,
welcome,
for coming on Sports Tree. And that is Coach Lawrence Okonji. His message is clear and simple. No grassroots football, no elite football.
Exactly.
And that is Sports Tree for now. The conversation segment on Sports Tree will return after this time out. Please stay tuned.
Thank you.
NTA Sports 24, where sports thrive.